One sweltering afternoon, while my mom was at work, I wandered into his study, seeking refuge from the oppressive heat. He was sitting at his desk, shirtless, a newspaper spread out before him. I froze, my breath catching in my throat. The sight of his broad shoulders, the lean muscles rippling beneath his skin, the dark hair dusting his chest. It was a revelation. My body, usually so indifferent, reacted with a sudden, unexpected surge of heat. My breath hitched, a strange tremor running through me. I felt aroused. The sensation was alien, terrifying, and exhilarating all at once. I quickly averted my gaze, my cheeks burning with shame. What was wrong with me? How could I be feeling this way about my stepfather? He was older, he was family. It was wrong, utterly wrong. Yet the image of him, stripped bare and vulnerable, lingered in my mind, a forbidden fruit beckoning to be tasted. The more I tried to suppress it, the stronger it grew, a persistent whisper urging me to explore this newfound territory. I began to notice him differently, to linger a little longer in his presence, to find excuses to brush against him, to feel the warmth of his skin against mine. He, too, seemed to be drawn to me in a way that went beyond a father-daughter relationship. His eyes, when they met mine, held a subtle intensity, a flicker of something unspoken. He would tease me gently, his voice a low murmur that sent shivers down my spine. He would linger over my hand when helping me with my homework, his touch lingering a beat too long. One evening, while watching a movie together, he leaned closer to me on the couch, his arm brushing against mine. The contact sent a jolt of electricity through me. I turned to him, my heart pounding, and our eyes met. In that moment, the unspoken tension between us crackled with a raw, undeniable energy. He leaned in closer, his breath fanning against my cheek, and I knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that this was just the beginning. The incident in the study had ignited a fire within me, a consuming passion that I couldn't extinguish. The forbidden nature of my feelings only served to intensify them. Every stolen glance, every accidental touch, sent sparks flying. I yearned for his touch, for the feel of his strong arms around me, for the taste of his lips. One rainy afternoon, while my mom was at work, I found myself alone in the house, a storm raging outside, mirroring the tempest within me. I wandered into his study, a silent plea for his presence. He was there, as if drawn to me by some unseen force, lost in thought, a book lying open on his desk. I walked towards him, my steps hesitant, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. He looked up, his eyes widening slightly at the sight of me. A silent understanding passed between us, a shared secret that bound us together. He rose from his chair, his eyes never leaving mine. Slowly, deliberately he approached me, his movements filled with a quiet intensity. The air crackled with anticipation, the only sound the rhythmic drumming of the rain against the windows. He reached out, his fingers tracing the outline of my face, his touch feather-light, yet sending shivers down my spine. I leaned into his touch, my eyes fluttering closed. He lowered his head, his lips brushing against mine in a soft, tentative kiss. The kiss was a revelation, a whirlwind of sensations that left me breathless. It was a taste of forbidden fruit, sweet and intoxicating. I responded instinctively, my arms wrapping around his neck, pulling him closer. He deepened the kiss, his tongue exploring the depths of my mouth, awakening a fire within me I never knew existed. He pulled back slightly, his eyes searching mine, a mixture of desire and apprehension reflected in their depths. "Are you sure about this?" he whispered, his voice husky with emotion. I nodded, unable to speak, my breath catching in my throat. He smiled, a slow, sensual curve of his lips. "Then let's explore this together," he murmured, his voice a low growl. He led me to the couch, his hands guiding me down, his body hovering over mine. I felt the heat of his skin against mine, the hardness of his arousal pressing against my thigh. He kissed me again, a long, slow kiss that ignited a fire within me, a yearning so intense it consumed me. He began to explore my body, his hands tracing the curves of my hips, his fingers teasing my breasts. I arched against him, my body craving his touch, his attention. He moved lower, his hands exploring the hidden depths of my body, sending shivers of pleasure rippling through me. I had never experienced anything like it. The sensations were overwhelming, a dizzying mix of pleasure and pain. I cried out, my voice muffled against his chest, as he found the sweet spot, the source of my pleasure. He moved in a rhythmic motion, his body a whirlwind of energy, his touch a symphony of sensations. I had never known such pleasure, such ecstasy. My body arched, my toes curling as I reached the precipice, the world fading away, replaced by a blinding white light. Then I was over the edge, plunging into an abyss of pure bliss. My body convulsed, a wave of pleasure washing over me, leaving me weak and breathless. He held me close, his arms wrapped around me, his breath fanning against my hair. "Did you like that?" he whispered, his voice rough with emotion. I could only nod, tears of ecstasy streaming down my face. I had never imagined such pleasure, such intimacy. It was a revelation, a life-altering experience that forever changed the course of my life. The aftermath was a mixture of guilt and exhilaration. I felt a profound sense of shame, of having betrayed my mother's trust, of crossing a line I shouldn't have. Yet the memory of his touch, the intensity of our shared pleasure, lingered, a sweet poison that I couldn't escape. In the following weeks, our secret affair deepened. We found ways to steal moments together, stolen kisses in the hallway, whispered conversations late at night. We explored our desires, pushing boundaries, discovering new depths of intimacy. He taught me about my body, about the intricacies of pleasure, awakening a sensuality within me I never knew existed. The initial shock and guilt gradually faded, replaced by a profound sense of acceptance. Our secret affair, once a source of constant anxiety, became a source of strength, a shared secret that bound us closer than any blood relation ever could. We became more daring, our encounters growing bolder. We would meet in secluded spots, the woods behind the house becoming our sanctuary. We would spend hours lost in each other's embrace, exploring our desires, pushing the boundaries of our intimacy. The changes in me were undeniable. I blossomed, shedding the awkwardness of adolescence. I became more confident, more assertive. My grades improved, my social life flourished. I felt alive, vibrant, a woman awakened. Of course, there were moments of fear, of apprehension. What if my mom found out? What if someone suspected? The possibility of exposure hung over us like a dark cloud, a constant reminder of the precarious nature of our relationship. Yet the fear was often overshadowed by the intensity of our passion. We lived for those stolen moments, savoring every touch, every kiss, every whispered word. We were a secret society, two souls bound by a forbidden love, a love that defied convention, that defied logic. We knew the risks, yet we chose to embrace them. Our love, born from the unexpected, had become the most precious thing in my life. It was a secret we guarded fiercely, a treasure we cherished. One evening, as we lay entwined in the woods, the moon casting long shadows through the trees, he looked at me, his eyes filled with a profound love. "I've never felt this way about anyone before," he confessed, his voice husky with emotion. "You've awakened something in me, something I never knew existed." My heart swelled with a love that mirrored his own. "Me too," I whispered, burying my face in his chest. "You've made me feel more alive than I ever thought possible." We lay there for a long time, simply holding each other, the world fading away, leaving only the two of us, lost in the magic of our forbidden love. Life, of course, had its challenges. Navigating the complexities of our secret relationship required constant vigilance, a constant awareness of the potential for discovery. We learned to tread carefully, to cover our tracks, to maintain the illusion of normalcy. Yet, despite the risks, we wouldn't trade it for anything. Our love, born from the unexpected, had become the most precious thing in my life. It was a secret we guarded fiercely, a treasure we cherished. We knew that our relationship was unconventional, that it defied societal norms. But we also knew that love, true love, knows no bounds. It transcends societal expectations. It defies logic. It finds its own way. And so, we continued to live our lives, walking a tightrope between the exhilaration of our forbidden love and the ever-present fear of discovery. We cherished every stolen moment, every whispered word, every touch that ignited the fire within us. We learned to live in the moment, to savor the intensity of our passion, to embrace the uncertainty of the future. We knew that our happiness, our fulfillment, lay in the depths of our forbidden love. And as I look back, years later, I have no regrets. I wouldn't trade those stolen moments, that forbidden passion, for anything in the world. It was a love story for the ages, a testament to the power of human connection, a reminder that love, in all its forms, is a force to be reckoned with.